Hello, hello. Welcome to the Social Video Playbook. I am so excited to have you here, Chris.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here as well.
Yes, it's always great to connect. For everybody that is just joining us, like I said, welcome to the Social Video Playbook. I'm Elizabeth, Head of Growth at Viral Moment and host of the Social Video Playbook. This is your space for the next 15-ish minutes. It's not always exactly 15, but we spend time chatting with industry leaders who are actually diving into the insights, the marketing, what is and is not working behind brands and companies from all over. And we emphasize what's going on with social video. How has that changed in the way that people are thinking about how they are using their brands and their businesses across all different mediums? And what does it mean to be able to digest this data? What are ways that tech is helping to improve or not improve some of their processes, and what everyone's doing about that? So one of the amazing leaders I have with me today is Chris Trimble. Chris, tell everybody about yourself.
Hi, my name is Chris Trimble, as just said, and I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I'm an influencer lead at Fashion Week Columbus here in Ohio. It's so great to be here. Thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I am super excited to dive into all of your insights. You come from quite a background of knowledge, and I think we're going to get some really deep stuff for all of our listeners here. So moving quickly, diving in, the big picture across social video, zooming out for a second, what is the number one shift that brands in your industry just are not ready for that you've seen because of this whole new social video era that we popped into?
Yeah, that's a great question. The first thing that comes to mind would definitely be the amount of content to stay relative and ahead of other brands. There's always so much stuff, so much content to get out there. And it's just the matter of fact of grabbing all of that and being able to use that to their advantage.
Yeah, there is a lot of content. I think I read a stat that oh my God, I'm totally get this wrong. It's like over 1 million videos are posted to TikTok every day.
Yeah.
And that's just one platform.
Exactly. That's not even Reels. That's not even YouTube Shorts. It's absolutely wild.
It is so crazy. So based off of this big picture and this big content, how do you think that social video is changing the way that brands are making decisions?
Yeah. The thing is, everything we do as a brand is a decision. There's always something new for brands to learn about, implement into our current strategy, and even hone in on what they're currently doing. Social videos bring all that together and speeding it up like times two. Brands are being more strategic with their decisions and making them to achieve their main goal. And that's basically to sell more products, or in Fashion Week Columbus's case, it's to spread brand awareness. And so we can give the fashion community in Columbus, Ohio, a network to thrive.
Yeah, absolutely. And you made a good point too, that it's 2xing everything.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. And I think brings us really nicely into our next section of pain points. When you double up on something, like that's a lot more. What is the biggest challenge that you're seeing or that you're facing across social video right now?
Yeah, for sure. I would say it's definitely getting the massive amount of content, as I mentioned earlier. Most of the events that I'm getting content for are only a season long. So it's really challenging to get content that will stay relevant and up to date until next season when I can get like fresh, new stuff for everybody.
Yeah. How are you facing that challenge? A season can only be so long. And in fashion, a season goes like super quickly. So how are you facing those challenges? What's worked? What's not worked?
Yeah. So right now we're tracking it organically through engagement. For our upcoming season, we're planning to implement a program to help us gather insights and be more proactive through social listening.
Okay, cool. From gathering those insights, and I can assume that the team isn't thousands of social insight leaders doing all the work for you. So if you had unlimited resources, how would you fix some of these gaps and these problems that you have with Fashion Week?
Yeah, I would say to get content creators, just having a lot of content creators and influencers on standby, because it's so hard for just one or two or a couple people just to get all that massive amount of content. So when you have influencers and content creators standby to be hey, can we do something with this or this? I feel like that is definitely, that would really solve it.
Yeah, so having more hands on deck and more funding essentially to be able to get more creators to push out more content.
Yeah.
Love it. So I want to zoom in a little bit into kind of like interpreting this. So you make the content, you post the content, you look at the content, you do it all over again, right? But what's a common mistake that you see that brands make when they're using or interpreting the social video era and the social video data that comes through?
Yeah, that they need to get a bunch of content when you should strategically be planning out the specific videos and like B-roll that's needed in order to create content and reach their target audience.
Yeah, that's so true. I definitely agree with you. I think that people just are like, we need new content all the time. You're like, you actually can reuse it.
Yeah. The thing is, if you have that good content, then you can definitely use it. But I feel like, especially as some companies that I've noticed are starting out, they're like, oh yeah, let me get this and this, when you need to just make that plan, because at the end of the day, the plan's going to save you.
That's true. Yeah, if you can like just make the plan, and it's where someone like you with your expertise comes in to know what that plan is. With brands, when they're sorry, let me figure out how to phrase this. What is the most important thing that brands should actually be measuring against when they're looking through social video and social video data?
Yeah, for sure. I would say, I'm not really for sure if it would be measuring, but really pay attention to that audience. Yeah, likes and comments and views are very important. However, the audience is what drives social video. If you're not targeting a specific audience demographic, you're just creating content for the fun of it, and it's not for that specific mission. If there's 10 people in one niche area and you target those 10 people, and then they'll most likely watch that video that you targeted them for. And that gives the algorithm the green light to go ahead and show another 10 to 20 people who are interested in the same thing. By no time, you've doubled or even quadrupled your audience.
That's so smart. It's such a good way to think about it. It's like just getting like in front of those 10 right eyeballs instead of 10,000 wrong eyeballs is so much more valuable. Even the algorithm knows it. And it's like, you missed the mark, brand.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so cool. So quick wins. I love that these are like 15-minute insights because we just like whip through some like really good data points right ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Quick win. So what is an underrated insight that leaders in your field should act on now? You've touched a little bit in the audience, as we can lean in more there. Is there other insights that you think that leaders should actually be acting on that they aren't doing?
Yeah. So there's so many platforms that will help you get ahead of social video, like that, get ahead of the masses. Many brands try to blow up organically, that's totally fine. And you should definitely still work on your organic, like blowing up that way. But however, there are tools available that helps give most of the information that you need in order to reach your insight goals. So an example would be like TikTok Studio. You can see posts that viewers viewed, creators your viewers also watched, and things like that. And it's especially helpful if you're looking for influencers to collaborate with. Viewers will be more inclined to engage with creators that they're familiar seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a common assumption, like you deal with a lot of people in a lot of spaces, and you work in a very fast-paced environment too. So is there a common assumption about social video that people come back to you and they're like, oh, Chris is like the social video person. And then you're like, yeah, no, that's not how social video works. Do you ever get one of those questions?
Yeah, I'd say that it's that your videos must be a certain length in order to get views. It's very important to recognize that if you don't think the video is best, then it's okay to cut some parts and keep the good parts. And there's definitely quality over quantity there, and that comes into play.
Yeah, that's so smart too. I think there is a lot of pressure on, okay, if it's a TikTok video, it has to be 30 seconds or whatever. And yeah, that is a common assumption that you do definitely hear a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
So earlier I had quickly asked you if you could have anything in the world, what would it be to like solve some of these like data and content challenges that you have? But I want to like narrow your scope right now. And if there was just one thing in 2025, so it already exists, that would make social video easier for your business and your role, what would that one thing be?
Yeah, for sure. So that's so good. And I would say it's definitely a good application, something like Sprinkler or Pendulum, to where everything, you can see everything at once. Sprinkler and Pendulum are two different things for sure, but they each help you find good insights, and they each help you hone in on the things that you're really looking to improve on. And I would say definitely.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need one platform and you're like, can you just answer my question or consolidate my posts or like do something for me? So I have a bonus question for you because we have a hot minute left. You've done a lot. You've navigated quite a bit of this space. I would love to know if there's a lesson that you've learned from navigating social video and all the work that you've done that you wish more people understood that you want to share.
Yeah, for sure. Oh my goodness. There's so many that come to mind. I feel like social video is so ever changing. And I would say it's okay to not know everything coming out the gate. And it's okay, even if you've been in this area of expertise for such a long time, there's always more stuff to learn. And just keep an open mind, and learning is power. Knowledge is power. And I would say the more you know, the more you'll be able to get ahead, and then it'll just even make you look better in the end.
Yeah, that's amazing. Chris, thank you so much for spending time with me on the Social Video Playbook and sharing these insights with others. I think everybody's going to take away a ton of great information, just knowing how to manage and mitigate different things that come up across social video. If you want to continue to follow Chris, he has some great stuff that is popping off on Instagram. His handle is scrolling along here. And if you are one of our Spotify listeners and aren't watching this on a video, I will drop it in the show notes so you can follow Chris and all of his great work. Thanks again. I really appreciate it.